Hello, people. Another beautiful day, and it's Sunday. Yep. Hope your five senses work, health and strength is good. Or excellent. What? Now, talking about this Activision court case again. What's up, Tweak Town? Listen to this. Got this nice little article here. It says here, FTC paused lawsuit against Microsoft Activision merger, but agency could continue suing. Continue suing? Really? Judge Jacqueline Scott Corley just gave you 8 reasons why you lost the case, but you're continuing to sue? Makes no sense. But anyway, it says here, the FTC versus Microsoft saga isn't over yet. Although the agency has paused its administrative case, it could still rifle to block the Microsoft Activision merger. Rifle to block the Activision merger. You already lost in case, FTC. You already lost in court, FTC. Anyway, and no disrespect to the FTC or the CME or the EU. Anyway, it says here, at the best of Microsoft, the Federal Trade Commission has paused its administrative lawsuit against the Microsoft Activision merger. But this is temporarily, and the agency could continue its litigation in an attempt to block the merger if it so chooses. You already lost the case. The judge gave you 8 reasons why. She could have gave you 10. You try to attempt to block the case. See, judges from the Supreme Court are watching this, and they were watching the judges how she handled it, and they're gonna make a decision. Like I said, this might end up going to the Supreme Court, but they're gonna make a decision based on her, or based on what Jacqueline Scott Corley says. So yeah, you already went to the 9th District Court of Appeals, and you got rejected. You still trying to block this deal? Okay. Like I tell people before, this was an endurance game. Anyway, it says here, order withdrawing the matter from adjudication pursuant to Rule 3.26 of the Commission Rules of Practice. On July the 18th, counsel for respondent in this proceeding files a motion to withdraw proceeding from adjudication complaint. Counsel has not registered any objection to respondent motion. And it says it is ordered pursuant to Rule 326 of the Commission Rules of Practice 16 CFR that this matter in its entirety be and it hereby is withdrawn from jurisdiction and that all proceeding before administrative law judge be and they hereby are stayed. Says here, following the FTC's double loss in federal and appeals court, Microsoft filed a motion to stay or pause the agency planned administrative lawsuit against the merger. The FTC seeks to block the merger FTC by trying the case in its own internal court before an administrative law judge. Microsoft is eager to get the merger passed, but it still has some time. Microsoft and Activision have agreed to extend merger deadline to as late as October. As formalities, Secretary April Tabor, who had discretion to make this particular decision, has granted Microsoft motion and has paused the commission administrative lawsuit against the merger. So what does this mean exactly? The Federal Trade Commission can now hold talks with Microsoft and Activision on possible settlements or agreements made in order to satisfy the U.S. regulator. There's no word on whether or not this is happening, and the FTC could choose to take up its case once more. Then it says, if it continues, the FTC versus Microsoft administrative case is scheduled to begin in just a few days, August 2nd. The agency has yet to announce whether or not it will pursue and continue its administrative case against Microsoft Activision merger. Earlier this month, the FTC responded to its loss in federal court, saying that the Microsoft Activision merger posed a clear threat to subscription and cloud gaming and consoles. Well, that's the end of the article. The judge gave you 8 reasons why. Okay. And then you file for an appeals. So the appeals court blocked your appeal request based on the judge's decision. And you still trying to pursue this? So now every judge now that looks at this and like, okay, you're looking at judge what she said. They're looking at the appeal court on what they say, and they're going to make a decision based off that. So when you take two losses like that, man, that is huge, especially in court, and especially when you got the 9th district, courts involved in this too, appeals court. Then Supreme Court judges are looking at the 9th district and looking at all the courts, and they're like, oh, really? Okay. And they're going to make a decision. So I don't know. I think the FTC is just barking up the wrong tree right now. Just barking up the wrong tree. Because I mean, to me, they already lost this from jump. From the get-go, when they tried to remove Nintendo, it's like, that showed me you guys didn't have anything. And then you try to make this just about Sony and Microsoft when there's other entities involved. You didn't have a case, so yeah. Then your buddies, the CMA, they have to sit there and watch the judge gave 8. She could have gave 10 reasons why, or even 12 at the rate she was going. So yeah. I mean, it's called being humbled, Yeah. Basically, the bottom line is that the FTC wasn't prepared for this. They weren't. And they have a lot to learn about the game industry. Competition is what drives the market. And just because you buy a studio, it doesn't stop competition from growing. It doesn't. So, yeah. And the game industry doesn't. When the game industry does not finds itself in a standstill where it can't move, just because you buy a studio, the industry will always continue to move. So yeah. Yeah, FTC got a lot to learn. So yeah, but again, no disrespect to them, to the FTC or the CMA or the UK. Yeah, they just weren't prepared for this. Neither is the CMA. They were never prepared for this. I mean, your economist messed up big. And then the judge is sitting there picking your argument apart. Okay, besides Call of Duty, what other games do Activision Blizzard have? Okay, there's Overwatch, there's Diablo, Tony Hawk, Candy Crush, StarCraft, World of Warcraft, and of course, Call of Duty. Yeah, they were not prepared for this. They were not prepared for this. They really weren't. But we'll see what happens, in the days and weeks to come. But the judge's final decision sticks. I mean, you lost in the appeals court, so that's a huge loss. Yeah. But hey, it's a gaming industry for you. But I'll keep you guys posted on what's going on with this. Hope you enjoyed the video. Nice talking to you people. Chris, still a Star Wars and Star Trek thing? Or Dark Side. Go. Peace.